Middle-earth is a land bound not just by sword or stone, but by blood. Its legends sing of great kings, mighty warriors, and noble houses. Yet beneath that grandeur lies a darker truth. Some lineages were never meant to last. Cursed by the Valar, twisted by Morgoth, or doomed by their own pride. There are bloodlines in Tolkien's legendarium that carried sorrow like a birthright. Their names echo through the ages, not for glory, but for grief. Today we delve into the most haunted family trees of Middle-earth, the cursed bloodlines, bound to fates they could not escape. Who were they? What power doomed them? And can a curse ever truly be broken? Welcome back to the channel. Let's get started. Let us begin with perhaps the most infamous of them all, the House of Fëanor. Fëanor, the greatest of the Noldor elves, was a craftsman, a scholar, and a firebrand whose spirit blazed hotter than any forge. He forged the Silmarils, jewels that captured the light of the two trees of Valinor, and through them, he changed the course of history forever. When Morgoth stole the Silmarils and fled to Middle-earth, Fëanor and his sons swore a terrible oath that they would retrieve the jewels at any cost, no matter who held them. This oath, known as the Oath of Fëanor, became a curse that destroyed kingdoms and families alike. Fëanor's 7 sons, Maedhros, Maglor, Celegorm, Curufin, Caranthir, Amrod, and Amres, were bound by this oath, and none of them escaped its ruin. They slaughtered kin in the kinslayings, burned havens, betrayed allies, and died tragic violent deaths, all in pursuit of their father's prideful obsession. By the end of the First Age, only Maglor remained, wandering the shores of Middle-earth, singing songs of regret. He cast his Silmaril into the sea, a final act of rejection and repentance. Yet, even this was not enough to free him. The curse of the House of Fëanor is not just about the oath. It is the tale of brilliance turned to arrogance, love twisted into obsession, and a family consumed by its own fire. While the curse of Fëanor was self-inflicted, the House of Húrin was cursed by Morgoth himself. Hurin Thalion, the greatest warrior of men in the First Age, defied Morgoth in open war. At the Battle of Unnumbered Tears, he was captured and brought before the Dark Lord. When he refused to reveal the location of Gondolin, Morgoth cursed him and his entire bloodline. What followed was one of the darkest stories in all of Tolkien's legendarium, the tale of Turin Turambar, son of Húrin. Turin's life was a saga of exile, pride, and tragedy. He slew his closest friend in a blind rage. He was manipulated by Glaurung, the dragon, into unknowingly marrying his own sister, Nienor. And when the truth was revealed, Nienor took her own life, and Turin followed. This was not just bad luck. This was doom, orchestrated by Morgoth's will. Every choice Húrin's family made seemed twisted by unseen hands, always leading to sorrow. Húrin himself, once freed, brought the cursed treasure of the dwarves to Doriath, sowing chaos that led to the realm's downfall. The curse did not lift until the bloodline was shattered. Turin was remembered as a tragic hero, even honored by the Valar in prophecy. Yet his story remains one of the clearest examples of a family burdened by divine wrath, and perhaps the cruelest curse of all. Not all curses are obvious. Some come in the form of impossible choices. The line of Elrond half-elven, descendant of both elves and men, bore a different kind of burden. At the end of the First Age, Elrond and his brother Elros were given a choice by the Valar, to live as elves or as men. Elros chose mortality, becoming the first king of Númenor. Elrond chose elvendom, remaining in Middle-earth as a lord of Rivendell. But that choice rippled through time. The line of Elros became the Kings of Númenor, a mighty civilization gifted with long life and wisdom. But as centuries passed, they grew prideful, resented death, and fell under the shadow of Sauron. By the end of the Second Age, Númenor was destroyed, swallowed by the sea, cursed by Ilúvatar himself. Ar-Pharazôn, last king of Númenor, led his people into blasphemy and ruin. Meanwhile, Elrond's descendants bore the quiet weight of this history. His daughter, Arwen, would make the same choice thousands of years later, giving up immortality for love. Her fate, like Elros's, ended in death, sorrow, and the fading of her line. The blood of Elrond was not cursed by Morgoth, but it was bound by the pain of choice, by legacy, and by the burden of mortality in an immortal world. Here, we tread into deeper speculation, yet one that Tolkien hinted at through tone and tragedy. The Kings of Rohan, descended from the Northmen, were noble, but their line was stained by shadow. Helm Hammerhand, the ninth king, died alone in the long winter, frozen outside his own fortress. His death marked the beginning of internal strife, usurpation, and civil war. Many kings after him faced betrayal, madness, or loss. Theoden himself was manipulated by Saruman, watched his only son die, and only in his final moments reclaimed his honor. Was there a curse on Rohan's kings, or was it simply the consequence of their growing proximity to war and the rising darkness? Though never explicitly stated, the repeated downfall of Rohan's royal line suggests a lingering burden, one perhaps tied to the oath of allegiance they swore to Gondor, an oath that may have tethered them to the fading fate of the West. In Middle-earth, blood carries memory. The sins of fathers are not easily forgotten, nor are the oaths they swore. But does that mean a curse is forever? Tolkien's world is not one of pure fatalism. There are glimmers of hope. Aragorn, for example, descended from Isildur, a man whose choice to keep the ring led to unending war. Yet Aragorn rose above that legacy, reclaimed the throne, and helped defeat Sauron. Elrond, though burdened by centuries of sorrow, chose wisdom and healing over despair. Even Maglor, son of Fëanor, found some measure of redemption, wandering the world in grief, but refusing to embrace the destruction his family once wrought. Still, for most cursed bloodlines, redemption came only at great cost, and often too late. In the end, the blood of Middle-earth was never clean. Every kingdom, every lineage, touched by light or shadow, bore the scars of ancient choices. Some were bound by the wrath of Morgoth, others by their own pride, their oaths, or the cruel gift of fate. So the next time you hear of elves, kings, or ancient heroes, ask yourself, what legacy did they inherit, and what price did they pay to carry it? If you enjoyed exploring the doomed legacies and dark histories of Middle-earth, make sure to like and subscribe for more Tolkien deep dives. And tell us in the comments, which cursed bloodline do you think bore the heaviest fate? Thanks for watching, and as always, see you on the next one.